Driving these cars is pretty fun. They're from the biggest car museum, which has just opened its doors.
And the incredible multi-million-dollar collection needed so much display space, they actually moved right into a former Bunnings warehouse building.
This is a museum like no other. Cars as far as the eye can see, and some cars that your eyes have never seen before. This is the Gosford Classic Car Museum. It's just north of Sydney, and today I'm getting the grand tour from the museum's Will Ford. And before you ask, yes, Ford is his real name. So how many cars have you got here, Will?
So there's 273 inside the actual building space. We own a total of about 520.
The whole lot is worth a mind-boggling $70 million. I know he likes to keep a low profile, but you're telling me one bloke owns the lot.
That's correct. So with the exception of a few cars that are only on display here for a limited time, every single car that's in here is owned by the same owner, yes.
Wow, that's a nice little collection.
It's not a bad collection at all.
That man is rich lister Tony Denny, property developer and car dealer. He's a bit media shy, so Will's playing tour guide today, and he knows his stuff. From rare Porsches of the 80s.
It was one of the most technically advanced cars at the time and still holds its own today.
To Ferrari F40s.
This is one of my personal favourites in the museum. It's just, everything about it's just raw performance.
But it's not just European sports cars. And this is a slice of Aussie history. Look at the FJ Holdens you got here.
Yeah, so we've got the full collection of Holdens from 1947 all the way up to the mid-70s. And then over here we've got the Walkinshaw Commodores from the 1980s right up to the 2000s as well.
Right. Let's check them out.
No worries.
A look under the bonnet and all. And so many of the cars in the museum have a story. Remember the Aston Martin that Bond drove in Goldfinger? Well, that's the replica. And Jack Brabham's Formula One? That's the real thing, one of his Repco cars. And get this, everything here is for sale if you want to make an offer. Or should that be, afford to make an offer? I shudder to think what this little beauty costs. What's it worth?
About $5 million this one.
$5 million. Yeah. I'll be saving for a little while. That money gets you a carbon fibre 2014 LaFerrari. What makes a car worth $5 million?
It's a question that I get asked a lot, actually. I mean, this car inherits a lot of its design principles and technology directly from Formula One.
If that's not your style, what about these VW Beetles and combi vans? Most of the cars here are look but don't touch, but there is a DeLorean you can hop into if you really want to go back to the future. And every so often they'll fire up one of the engines just for fun. That one is an aircraft engine. The museum will have rotating exhibits of cars on loan. At the moment, these former beauties from Bathurst, including the classic number 5, once driven by the late great Peter Brock.
They've got a Tirana 1, they've got a Tirana 2, and
the collection just goes on and on. Everything you can imagine. Outside in the car park, you'll even find some military vehicles, but back inside, some real special stuff. This New York fire engine, they tell me, helped at Ground Zero on September 11. And as for this one, this is literally one of the fastest cars that's ever been on planet Earth.
That's right, yeah, 1,026 kilometres an hour this thing did.
It's the Aussie Invader, which was having a crack at the world land speed record in the 90s. So this is not really for ducking down to the shops to pick up some milk?
Definitely not.
No, I don't think so. And if, like me, you can't afford any of these cars, the price of entry is a little bit more accessible at $20 for adults and $12 for kids. And it's already proving very popular.
Very, very nice. Well done. Well presented. Yeah.
It's the best museum I've seen.
Have you got a favourite?
Yeah, I like the Ferrari a bit.
How long have you spent in here?
Oh, about 3 hours so far.
Can lose yourself in here, can't you?
Mate, I don't want to go home yet.
How much fun did Oaks have doing that, eh?
Yeah, it's